Well, where to now?
Go around the park again.
Okay. Well, that makes 4 trips around.
Go on. You're getting paid for it. I got all day and all week, and I'm not in a hurry.
Okay, Lonesome.
What?
Remember me? I remember you.
Oh, you do, huh?
Yeah, Lonesome Dingle. All the time, the best man. I picked you up on Park Avenue once, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Lonesome Dingle. That killed me. I thought you were screwed.
I wouldn't be a bit surprised. Turn around.
Huh?
Go back to the house where you picked me up and step on it.
But I thought you said about...
Go on.
Okay.
Oh, why, Mr. Tingle.
Oh, where's Miss Mary, Dad?
She's in the library.
Thanks. Mary.
Well, glad to see you back, Mr. Tingle. We've got your old room ready for you.
Oh, well, thanks. The conductor said 30 minutes for lunch, so I thought I'd get off and talk to the pretty waitress.
That's nice. Sit down.
Listen, Mary, I've been thinking, and I want to ask you something. Well, if you want to laugh at me when it's all over, I'll laugh with you, because maybe it's hilarious, only I don't think so now.
Go on.
Well, when I left here before, I realized I'd turn tail and run from the most important thing I'd ever had to make up my mind about.
Is it made up now?
Yes, it is. The taxi driver did it. He called me Lonesome Dingo, and that's what I am. And you know why. Because I never took my own advice. I never yelled out for what I wanted in a loud, clear voice. Well, I'm doing it now. Listen, Mary, if you do change your mind about Dill, if you aren't going to marry him, sometime after a decent interval, only I hope the interval won't be too long and too decent, would it ever occur to you to marry me?
Yes, Jefferson, it would.
Of course it would. Why not? Jefferson Dingle, that charming old fellow. Wouldn't it be amusing to think of being married to him at some time or other? Well, all right, Mary. Let me know. My office will give you my address any time in the next 3 weeks.
So you didn't mean it?
Did you?
Yes.
I did mean it.
So did I.
Mary.
Jeff.
What's happened?
I don't know. Have I always loved you? I must have.
Oh, we've got to find Dill and tell him.
He's still here. We'll tell him together.
Wait. Let me have a look at you. That Tingle chap fell into a pretty good thing.
So did that Clay girl.
Mary.
Mary, where in heaven's name have you been?
Here, dear, why?
Well, you might have let me know. Your friend Paula's been on my trail all day, bawling me out for I don't know what. What is this mysterious thing known as my duty to you? Just what have you suffered that I don't know about? Don't you think I've had a little private suffering of my own?
Well, I didn't take Paul onto you, dear. You know how she loves to manage destinies. I thought you knew it was best to seem devoutly grateful and then go your own little way. You haven't any duty to me, and I've forgotten that I've ever had a single pang.
Well, all right, Mary. You mustn't mind my getting all steamed up. Sorry to let you in for all this, Jeff, but after all, you were in from the start, and you have a right to be in at the finish. Please excuse me, Mary.
And you must try to excuse me. Dill, I don't know how to put it, except that I'm not going to marry you tomorrow.
What? Oh, well, that's all right, Mary. If you want to wait a little while, I understand.
No, Dill, I mean I'm not going to marry you at all.
Why not? Why not, Mary?
Dill, Mary's going to marry me.
You and... All right, children.
It's
all
not
right.
a joke.
Not one of Jeff's ideas?
It's both our ideas.
I don't believe it. I'll never believe it. You're kidding.
Wait a minute, Dill.
Cut it out, Jeff. Do you mean it, Mary?
Yes, Dill.
Then I am a complete fool. Congratulations on making me one.
Oh, Dill, I'm sorry.
Oh, don't say that. You can't be sorry. Not if you are marrying that fine chap, that true friend, Jefferson Tingle. What I can't understand, Jeff, is why you went all the way to Mexico to get me free.
Wait a minute, Dill. This has happened to Jeff and me in the last half hour. We haven't had time to tell you.
Yes, but you were going to tell me. How considerate. Perhaps you can tell me something I can tell my friends.
Oh, Dill, don't say such things. We've always had so much fun together. Dill, that's it. We were getting married on the strength of a past.
So I'm just a friend. Is that it? Just a friend that stuck his hand in the buzzsaw for you to find out if it was sharp. So you want to marry Jeff Tingle instead of me. Is that it?
That's it, Dill.
All right. But promise me this. Don't ever talk about me. And give me time to get out of town.
There goes Dill and Todd.
I'm sorry. You know, Jeff, he didn't think of me at all. I'm glad of that.
Why?
Because then I won't have to sit up nights worrying about him.
I think he took it nobly.
Well, don't you think I took it kind of nobly when he let me down?
As far as I'm concerned, I think you take everything nobly.
Oh, Jeff, you're not going to start complimenting me at this late date.
Well, Miss Clay, my position is slightly altered. As a bridegroom, I hardly know what to say.
Darling.
Miss Mary, Reverend Duncan is calling about plans for tomorrow.
Oh, the minister. Jeff, kiss me.
Good afternoon, Miss Clay.
Good afternoon, Reverend Duncan.
And this is Mr. Dillon Todd?
Well, not exactly.
What?
I mean, there's been a slight substitution. Mr. Tingle for Mr. Todd.
We take leave of our play, Forsaking All Others, and devote the next 2 or 3 moments to a meeting with our stars, Bette Davis and Joel McCrea. A couple of weeks ago, Miss Davis, the Hollywood columnist Jimmy Starr reported on this microphone that you've just moved into your new home.
Good work, C.B., but don't stop there.
Don't whisper, Joel. Speak up if there's anything on your mind.
Oh, no, not a thing.
Well, you know, Joel here is in the cattle business, and after all, Betty, what is home without a cow?
Now, Mr. DeMille, what would I want with a cow?
I'm sure I don't know, Betty. I'm only trying to help Joel out. He said that if...
Well, Betty, a cow... Well, you see, a cow is... Why, well, anyway, they're swell. They're quiet and restful, and they have big brown eyes, and I'm sure if you saw the one
Joel, I don't wish to buy a cow.
Oh, you don't wish to buy a cow?
No.
Oh. Well, how about a horse?
No.
Well, can I at least sell you a load of hay?
It's very good hay, Betty.
You two aren't partners by any chance.
No, not exactly. You see, I own a herd of deer.
But I don't want any deer either.
No, but they eat so much hay that Joel said he'd give me all I need if I helped him sell you a cow.
Oh. I see. Just a couple of boys in the movie business.
Maybe we'd better change the subject, Mr. DeMille.
No, wait a minute, Joel. Since you and I have formed a sort of mutual admiration society for our friend Willie Wyler, why don't you send a cow to him as a token of your esteem?
Excuse me, Betty, but Mr. Wyler has interrupted his picture directing and is now in Sun Valley, Idaho.
Yes, far, far away from Hollywood with nothing to do but ski and ice skate and toboggan. Poor man. That's why I think a cow might be just the thing to keep his spirits up.
Tell me, Betty, is it true that after directing you in Jezebel, poor Mr. Wyler had to go away for a rest?
Oh, don't be silly, Joel. I'm the one who had to have the rest. You've worked with Willie. You should know.
My secret agents informed me, Betty, that the real reason you worked night and day was to enable your co-star, Henry Fonda, to dash to New York and be there at the time he became a papa.
That's quite true. And in appreciation of our efforts, Henry promised to name the baby Jezebel. But he double-crossed us and named her Jane Seymour Fonda instead. I don't know, I suppose that's better. Jane's really kind of nicer than Jezzy.
By the way, didn't Henry play in Forsaking All Others on Broadway?
That's right, Joel. He was hardly more than an extra then. And now, 5 short years later, he's right up among our leading men. But getting back to you. Now, just what is all this about your ranch?
Well, the best way to find out is to come up and have a look for yourself.
A real ranchman? Corrals and roundups and wooden bathtubs, too, I suppose.
Well, not quite that authentic, Betty. I'll own up to one small swimming pool.
Well, speaking of bathtubs...
And goodness knows you're the one to speak of bathtubs, Mr. DeMille.
Well, anyway, I was about to remark that the first bathtub in this country almost caused a minor revolution. Its presence in the home of a Cincinnati gentleman in the 1840s brought forth a storm of protest from politicians, newspapers, and the medical profession. It was denounced as an Epicurean innovation designed to corrupt the democratic simplicity of the Republic. Not long after, the Philadelphia Common Council went into a turmoil over a proposed ordinance prohibiting bathing between November 1st and March 15th. It failed to become a law by only 2 votes.
That's lucky for you, sir. This is the 20th century. Lux Soap would have found it rather rough sledding back there in the unscrubbed 40s. And lucky for us, too. I'm very happy to say that Lux Soap is the soap in our new home.
Well, thank you, Betty.
And thank you, sir, for inviting me here to play Forsaking All Others. Many of you will remember the stage production with Miss Tallulah Bankhead. The performance is one I know I shall never forget. And now, good night.
Good night, C.B.
Good night, Betty. So long, cowboy. This is Cecil B. DeMille saying good night to you from Hollywood. Joe and McCrea appears the courtesy of Samuel Goldwyn and Louis Silvers, new 20th Century Fox Studios, where he directed music for the new film Sally, Irene, and Mary. Heard during tonight's program was Sweet Someone from Love and Hisses.